If you're over the age of 60, I want to ask you something that may feel a little uncomfortable. Have you ever believed that simply taking a daily walk was enough to protect your health? If your answer is yes, you're certainly not alone. Millions of older adults lace up their shoes every morning believing they're doing everything necessary to stay healthy, maintain their independence, and keep their bodies strong for years to come. But what if I told you that one of the biggest myths about healthy aging has been quietly misleading people for decades? What if the very habit you've trusted the most is leaving out the one thing your body desperately needs after the age of 60? I'm Dr. James Carter, and today I want to share something that has completely changed the way many health professionals think about aging well. This isn't about telling you to stop walking. Walking is still one of the healthiest activities you can do for your heart, your mood, and your overall well-being. The problem is that after 60, your body begins changing in ways that walking alone simply cannot keep up with. And that's exactly why so many older adults find themselves asking the same frustrating questions. Why do my legs still feel weak? Why do I struggle to stand up from a chair? Why am I losing my balance even though I walk every single day? If any of those questions sound familiar, I want you to stay with me, because the answer may surprise you. The greatest threat to healthy aging isn't simply getting older. It's gradually losing the strength that allows you to live life on your own terms. Strength is what lets you climb stairs without fear. Strength allows you to carry groceries without asking for help. Strength helps you get out of bed with confidence every morning. Strength is what keeps you steady when you unexpectedly lose your footing. And once that strength begins to disappear, everyday activities that once felt effortless slowly become exhausting. This doesn't happen overnight. It happens little by little. One day you notice standing up takes a bit more effort. A few months later, your knees feel less stable. Soon after that, you begin avoiding certain activities because they simply don't feel as easy anymore. Many people assume this is just a normal part of getting older. But that's not the whole story. Much of what people blame on aging is actually the result of something happening inside the body that can often be slowed down, and in many cases, partially reversed, with the right type of movement. Unfortunately, very few people are ever taught what that movement is. Instead, they're told to keep walking, walk more, walk longer, walk faster. While walking certainly has its place, it isn't designed to solve the biggest physical challenge that develops after the age of 60. In today's video, I'm going to explain why that happens, what changes inside your muscles as you grow older, and most importantly, I'll introduce one simple movement that many physical therapists consider one of the most valuable exercises for maintaining independence later in life. The best part? You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need to join a gym. You don't need to be athletic. You don't even need perfect knees to begin. This movement can be adapted to almost any fitness level and takes only a few minutes a day. But before I reveal exactly what it is, you first need to understand why walking alone eventually stops giving your body everything it truly needs. Once you understand that, everything else will make perfect sense. Let's begin there. Now that you understand why strength matters so much as we grow older, let's answer one very important question. If walking is such a healthy habit, why do so many people over 60 continue to lose muscle, struggle with balance, and find everyday movements becoming more difficult? The answer has everything to do with how your body changes with age. After the age of 60, your body naturally begins losing muscle tissue every single year. This process is called sarcopenia, and although it sounds complicated, its effects are something almost every older adult experiences. You may notice your legs don't feel as powerful when climbing stairs. Perhaps carrying groceries feels heavier than it once did. Or maybe getting up from your favorite chair now requires a little extra effort. These aren't simply signs of getting older. They're often signs that your muscles are no longer receiving the kind of challenge they need to stay strong. One of the biggest misconceptions about exercise is believing that any movement automatically builds strength. Unfortunately, that's not how the body works. Your muscles only become stronger when they are asked to perform work that is slightly more demanding than what they're already used to. Scientists often call this progressive overload, but you don't need to remember the name. What matters is understanding the principle. Your body only adapts when it has a reason to adapt. Think about someone who walks the exact same route every morning for years. At first, that walk may have felt challenging. Their breathing became heavier. Their legs worked harder. Their heart rate increased. But after months or even years of repeating the same routine, the body becomes incredibly efficient. That's actually a wonderful thing. It means your cardiovascular system has adapted. The problem is that while your heart may still benefit from walking, your muscles are no longer receiving a strong enough signal to grow stronger. They're simply maintaining the movement they've already learned. Imagine using the same lightweight grocery bag every single day. At first, it feels noticeable. Eventually, you barely recognize you're carrying it. Your muscles respond the same way. They stop changing when the challenge stops changing. This explains something that surprises many older adults. You may know someone who proudly reaches 10,000 steps every day, yet still has difficulty standing up from a low couch. Perhaps they still need to hold the handrail while climbing stairs. Maybe they hesitate before stepping off a curb because they don't completely trust their balance. That doesn't mean walking has failed. It simply means walking was never designed to solve every physical challenge that comes with aging. Healthy aging depends on much more than endurance. It depends on strength. It depends on stability. It depends on coordination. It depends on the ability to control your body against gravity during everyday tasks. Those are the abilities that allow you to stand up safely, recover if you trip, lift a grandchild, carry laundry, or get out of a car without struggling. Another important change happens inside your nervous system. As we grow older, the communication between the brain and our muscles gradually becomes less efficient. The messages telling your muscles when to contract and how quickly to react don't travel quite as smoothly as they once did. This is one reason why balance often becomes less reliable with age. The encouraging news is that your nervous system is remarkably adaptable. When you regularly practice movements that require strength, control, and coordination, your brain and muscles begin working together more efficiently again. That's one of the reasons many older adults notice improvements not only in strength but also in confidence after starting the right type of exercise. Confidence matters more than most people realize. When you feel unsteady, you naturally begin avoiding certain activities. You may walk less. You may stop taking the stairs. You may decline invitations that involve standing or walking for long periods. Little by little, your world becomes smaller. The less you move, the weaker your muscles become. And the weaker your muscles become, the less confident you feel. It becomes a cycle that quietly feeds itself. The good news is that this cycle can be interrupted. Not with longer walks, not with expensive gym memberships, and not with exhausting workouts. Sometimes all it takes is one carefully chosen movement that teaches your muscles to become strong again, while also improving the way your body moves through everyday life. In the next part, I'm going to introduce that movement and explain why physical therapists, rehabilitation specialists, and experts in healthy aging recommend it to so many adults over 60. It looks incredibly simple. In fact, many people overlook it because it seems almost too easy. But don't let its simplicity fool you. When performed correctly, this single movement trains some of the most important muscles in your entire body and may do more to protect your independence than thousands of extra steps ever could. Let's take a closer look. Now it's time to reveal the movement I promised you. You may be expecting something complicated, perhaps a special machine at the gym, an expensive piece of equipment, or a difficult workout that only fit people can perform. The truth is much simpler than that. One of the most effective exercises for adults over 60 is something you've probably done thousands of times throughout your life without ever thinking about it. It's called the chair squat. Simply sitting down in a chair and standing back up again. I know that may sound almost too ordinary. Many people hear this and immediately think, that can't possibly be the exercise you were talking about. But don't underestimate simple movements. Sometimes the exercises that seem the easiest are actually the ones that prepare your body for real life the best. Think about your average day. How many times do you stand up from a chair? How often do you get out of bed? How many times do you get in and out of your car? How often do you use the toilet, reach down to pick something up, or stand after eating dinner? Nearly every one of these daily activities depends on the same group of muscles: your thighs, your hips, your glutes, your core, and the muscles surrounding your knees. These muscles work together every time you lift your body against gravity. That's exactly what a chair squat trains. Unlike many gym exercises that isolate just one muscle, the chair squat teaches your entire lower body to work as a team. It also strengthens the deep stabilizing muscles that help you stay balanced while moving. This is one reason physical therapists rely on this movement during rehabilitation, after surgery or injury. It closely mimics the way your body naturally moves every single day. Another reason this exercise is so valuable is that it improves what's known as functional strength. Functional strength simply means having the ability to perform everyday tasks safely and confidently. It isn't about lifting the heaviest weight. It's about making daily life easier. Can you stand without using your hands? Can you climb stairs comfortably? Can you recover your balance if you trip? Can you carry groceries without feeling exhausted? Those are the questions that truly matter after the age of 60, and the chair squat directly trains every one of those abilities. Here's something fascinating. Every time you rise from a chair, your legs are lifting almost your entire body weight. That's a form of resistance training. Your muscles must generate enough force to overcome gravity before you can even take your first step. Walking doesn't ask your muscles to produce that same level of force. Instead, it focuses on repeating a familiar movement over and over again. That's why many people who walk every day still struggle when trying to stand up from a low chair. Their endurance may be good, but their strength has quietly declined. Fortunately, this is something your body can improve at almost any age. Research continues to show that older adults remain capable of building stronger muscles, improving balance, and increasing mobility well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond. Age changes the speed of progress. It does not eliminate your ability to improve, and that's exactly why the next step is so important. Knowing the right exercise is only half the equation. Performing it correctly is what unlocks its full benefits. In the next part, I'll show you exactly how to do a chair squat safely, even if you have stiff knees, lower back discomfort, or haven't exercised in years. Now let's learn how to perform this movement in a way that builds strength while protecting your joints. The first thing you'll need is a sturdy chair that won't slide across the floor. Choose one that allows both feet to rest comfortably on the ground. Sit near the front edge of the seat instead of leaning all the way back. Place your feet about shoulder-width apart with your toes pointing slightly outward in a natural position. Before you begin moving, sit up tall. Imagine a string gently pulling the top of your head toward the ceiling. Keep your shoulders relaxed, your chest open, and your eyes looking straight ahead instead of down at the floor. This simple posture helps keep your spine in a stronger, safer position throughout the movement. Now gently lean your upper body forward from your hips. Only a small amount is necessary. This shifts your center of gravity over your feet and makes standing much easier. Next, press firmly through your heels. Allow your legs to do the work. As you stand, breathe out slowly through your mouth. Avoid pushing yourself upward with momentum. Instead, imagine moving through thick water. Smooth, controlled, steady. Once you're standing, don't lock your knees completely. Simply stand tall for a brief moment while tightening your stomach muscles gently. Now it's time to return to the chair. This is where many people make their biggest mistake. Instead of dropping quickly onto the seat, slowly bend your hips and knees together. Lower yourself with complete control until you lightly touch the chair. Think of sitting down quietly without making any noise. That slow lowering phase is where much of the muscle building benefit actually happens. If you currently need to use your hands, that's perfectly fine. Rest your fingertips lightly on the armrests or your thighs. As your strength improves over the coming weeks, gradually rely on your legs more and your hands less. Never rush this process. Progress is measured by consistency, not speed. Let's also talk about a few common mistakes. One mistake is allowing the knees to collapse inward while standing. Try to keep your knees tracking in the same direction as your toes. Another mistake is leaning too far forward and using your back instead of your legs. Remember, your legs should be doing most of the work. Some people also hold their breath during the movement. Instead, breathe naturally. Exhale as you stand. Inhale as you sit back down. This helps stabilize your core while preventing unnecessary strain. If your knees feel sensitive, reduce the depth of the movement. Only lower yourself as far as feels comfortable. There is no prize for sitting lower than your body is ready for. Quality always matters more than range. If you haven't exercised for a long time, begin with 5 slow repetitions. Rest for a minute, then decide whether your body feels ready for another small set. You should notice your muscles working. You should not experience sharp or sudden pain. There's an important difference between challenging your muscles and irritating your joints. Always listen to your body. One of the greatest advantages of this exercise is that it can grow with you. As standing becomes easier, you don't necessarily need heavier weights. You can simply move more slowly, pause briefly before sitting down, or perform one additional repetition. Small improvements repeated consistently create remarkable changes over time. But here's something even more exciting. While you can clearly feel your muscles working on the outside, something equally powerful is happening inside your body that you can't see. Your muscles begin sending signals throughout your entire body that influence your heart, your metabolism, your brain, and even your long-term health. In the next part, I'll explain why this happens and why a simple chair squat can benefit far more than just your legs. Now that you know how to perform the chair squat correctly, let's talk about something remarkable that most people never realize. The greatest benefits of this exercise aren't only what you can see in the mirror or feel in your legs. Some of the most important changes happen deep inside your body, long before you notice stronger muscles or better balance. Every time your muscles contract against resistance, they begin releasing special proteins known as myokines. You don't need to remember that word. Just think of them as tiny messengers traveling throughout your body, delivering signals that help different organs function more efficiently. For many years, scientists believed muscles existed simply to help us move. Today, we know they do much more than that. Healthy muscles constantly communicate with your brain, your heart, your bones, and even your immune system. That's one reason strength training has become such an important topic in healthy aging. When these chemical messengers are released regularly, they may help reduce chronic inflammation throughout the body. Why does that matter? Because long-term inflammation has been linked to many of the conditions that become more common later in life, including heart disease, type 2 diabetes, memory decline, and reduced mobility. While no exercise can guarantee prevention, building stronger muscles creates an internal environment that supports healthier aging. Another important benefit involves blood sugar. As we age, many people's bodies become less efficient at using insulin. This can cause blood sugar levels to remain higher for longer after meals. Strong muscles act like powerful storage tanks. They pull glucose out of the bloodstream and use it as fuel, helping your body manage blood sugar more effectively. That's one reason doctors often encourage resistance exercise for adults who are concerned about metabolic health. Your bones benefit as well. Many people believe bones only become stronger by taking calcium supplements. Calcium is certainly important, but bones also respond to physical stress. Each time your muscles pull against your bones during movements like chair squats, they send signals encouraging your body to maintain bone strength. Over time, this may help support healthier bones and reduce the risk of fractures. Then there's your brain. Have you ever noticed that after a good workout, your mind feels clearer? That's not your imagination. Regular strength training improves circulation, increasing the amount of oxygen and nutrients reaching the brain. Research also suggests that exercise supports the production of compounds involved in learning, memory, and overall cognitive function. Perhaps one of the most rewarding changes isn't physical at all. It's emotional. When your body becomes stronger, everyday tasks begin feeling easier. You stop wondering whether you'll be able to stand up. You stop worrying every time you approach a staircase. You begin trusting your body again. That confidence changes the way you live. You become more willing to visit friends, take trips, play with grandchildren, spend more time outside. Your world begins expanding instead of shrinking. And that's something no medication can provide. However, there's one important truth you should know. None of these benefits happen overnight. Your body responds to consistency, not perfection. A few minutes several times each week will always produce better long-term results than exercising intensely once and then giving up. Small actions performed regularly create lasting change. Unfortunately, this is exactly where many older adults unknowingly hold themselves back. In the next part, I'll share the most common mistakes people make after 60. Mistakes that can slow progress, increase frustration, and prevent them from seeing the results they're capable of achieving. By now, you understand why strength is essential and why a simple chair squat can be so effective. But knowing what to do is only part of the journey. Avoiding the most common mistakes is just as important. The first mistake is believing that more exercise is always better. Many people become motivated, do far too much during the first week, wake up sore, and decide exercise simply isn't for them. Your body doesn't need punishment, it needs consistency. A small amount performed regularly will always outperform occasional bursts of extreme effort. The second mistake is relying on walking as the only form of exercise. Walking is wonderful for your heart, your lungs, and your mental well-being. Please don't stop walking. Instead, think of walking and strength training as partners. Walking keeps your body moving. Strength training prepares your body to move well. Together, they create a balanced foundation for healthy aging. Another common mistake is rushing through every repetition. Many people stand up quickly and drop back into the chair without thinking. But speed isn't the goal, control is. The slower you move, especially while lowering yourself, the harder your muscles work. That slow, controlled movement teaches your body stability while building strength safely. Another mistake is comparing yourself to someone else. Perhaps your neighbor can perform 20 repetitions. Maybe your spouse can stand without using their hands. None of that matters. The only comparison that truly counts is between who you are today and who you'll become after weeks of consistent practice. Progress looks different for everyone. Some people notice improvements within 2 weeks. Others need a little longer. Both are perfectly normal. Many older adults also stop exercising the moment they miss a few days. Life happens. You may travel. You may catch a cold. You may simply have a busy week. Missing a few sessions doesn't erase your progress. The important thing is returning to your routine instead of believing you've failed. One more mistake deserves special attention: waiting until you feel motivated. Motivation comes and goes. Habits are what create lasting results. Try connecting your chair squats to something you already do every day. Perform them before breakfast, after brushing your teeth, while waiting for your coffee to brew, or immediately after your daily walk. When exercise becomes part of an existing routine, it requires far less willpower. It simply becomes another healthy habit. So what does a simple weekly plan look like? Aim to perform chair squats 3 or 4 days each week. Start with 1 or 2 comfortable sets. Continue enjoying your daily walks at a pace that feels right for you. On the remaining days, focus on gentle stretching, balance practice, and staying active throughout the day. Remember, your goal isn't becoming a competitive athlete. Your goal is remaining independent, being able to stand confidently, walk comfortably, carry groceries, climb stairs, travel, and continue enjoying the activities that make life meaningful. In the final part of this video, I'm going to put everything together into a practical 5-minute daily routine that's easy to follow at home. I'll also share one final message that I hope you'll remember every time you stand up from your chair, because it may completely change the way you think about aging for the rest of your life. Now that we've talked about why strength matters, how your body changes with age, and how to perform one of the most effective movements safely, let's bring everything together into a routine that's simple enough to fit into almost anyone's day. One of the biggest misconceptions about exercise is believing you need an hour-long workout to make meaningful progress. The truth is, your body doesn't necessarily need more time. It needs the right kind of movement performed consistently. That's exactly why I recommend starting with a 5-minute routine. Not because 5 minutes is magical, but because 5 minutes is realistic. It's short enough that you can stick with it. And when a healthy habit becomes realistic, it becomes sustainable. Here's a simple example. Begin by sitting tall in a sturdy chair and perform 5 slow chair squats. Take your time with each repetition. Stand up with control. Pause briefly at the top, then lower yourself back down slowly. Rest for about 30 seconds. Next, perform another 5 repetitions if your body feels comfortable. Once you've finished, spend 1 minute simply marching in place. Lift your knees only as high as feels natural while gently swinging your arms. This helps improve circulation and encourages better coordination. After that, hold onto the back of your chair and practice balancing on one foot for 10 to 15 seconds. Switch to the other side and repeat. Balance is a skill, just like strength. The more often you practice it safely, the more confident your body becomes. Finish by taking a slow walk around your home for another minute or 2, focusing on standing tall, relaxing your shoulders, and taking smooth, controlled steps. In just 5 minutes, you've challenged your muscles, practiced balance, improved coordination, and encouraged healthy movement throughout your entire body. As the weeks go by, don't worry about becoming perfect. Simply look for small improvements. Perhaps standing feels easier. Maybe climbing stairs requires less effort. Perhaps you notice that getting out of your car no longer feels like such a challenge. These quiet victories are often the first signs that your body is adapting. Remember, healthy aging isn't about trying to become the person you were 30 years ago. It's about becoming the strongest, healthiest version of yourself today. Your body has changed, but it has not stopped learning. It has not stopped adapting. And it has certainly not given up. Every time you choose to move, you're sending your body a message. You're telling your muscles they are still needed. You're reminding your bones to stay strong. You're teaching your brain to stay connected with every step you take. Most importantly, you're investing in something that becomes more valuable every single year: your independence. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. Imagine standing up without hesitation, walking with confidence, traveling without worrying about every staircase, playing with your grandchildren without feeling exhausted after just a few minutes. Picture yourself living life with greater freedom instead of greater fear. Those changes rarely happen because of one extraordinary workout. They happen because of hundreds of small decisions repeated day after day, and every one of those decisions begins with a single step, or perhaps in today's case, with simply standing up from a chair. Before we finish, I'd like to ask you one question. How old are you today? Let me know in the comments below, and tell me whether you're willing to spend just 5 minutes a day building a stronger future for yourself. I truly enjoy reading your experiences, and your stories often inspire others in this wonderful community to begin their own journey. If you found this video helpful, please take a moment to click the like button. By doing so, you're helping this information reach other older adults who may be searching for practical ways to stay active and independent. And if you enjoy evidence-based health advice designed specifically for adults over 60, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our upcoming videos. I'm Dr. James Carter, and I want to leave you with one final thought. Growing older is something none of us can stop. Growing weaker is something we can often influence. Your future isn't determined only by the number of birthdays you've celebrated. It's shaped by the choices you make today. So stand up, move with purpose, trust your body's incredible ability to adapt, and never underestimate what a few minutes of consistent effort can do over the course of a lifetime. Thank you for spending these moments with me. Take good care of yourself, keep moving, and I'll see you in the next video.